Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by our number one news provider, Eswatini TV. I am Nondumiso Vilagada alongside Zaman Zimanze, and here are your top stories. The Minister of Information, Communications and Technology, Her Royal Highness Princess Sikhanyiso, has thanked the Speaker and the members of the House of Assembly for ensuring that the Royal Science and Technology Park Bill of 2022 passes. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Pulile Shakantu, says prosecutors have to improve their knowledge so as to be able to deal with evolving crime. The Minister of Finance, Neil Reichenberg, has launched the electronic advanced ruling tool by the Eswatini Revenue Service. The news. Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Her Royal Highness Princess Sikhanyiso, has thanked the Speaker and members of the House of Assembly for ensuring that the Royal Science and Technology Park Bill of 2022 passes. The Minister also thanked the Ministry of ICT Portfolio Committee for its contribution to the bill. The bill will now move to Senate for further deliberation.
Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Her Royal Highness Princess Sikhanyiso, also thanked Minister of Economic Planning and Development, Dr. Tambo Gina, who was acting in her office during her absence, for working tirelessly for the bill to pass.
Sibonge indlu lehloniphekile nayo ukudinikela kakhulu sihlalo wami lo libeka lo ligabazi ize indlu ivale kukhuluma. Lisekela lakhe umcondzisi wetinkhulumo lijaha lelincwadzile lelisuka emagonso. Mina kusenjetwa ngibonge ikomiti nayo yahlala iphelela ngcono nakusetshenzwa bese ngibonga umhlonishwa kalobamba lomdzala longaphezi kuyo yonke imisebenzi yelitiko letekwati netekuchumana yize angasilolunga.
The ICT Portfolio Committee also thanked the House and also unpacked what the bill contains.
Le bill lena nullifies i-Act ya 2012. Lengathi ngeSiswati be isibinza du iphinze futhi ibe sisimamnyango because it omitted so many essentials that would have made RSTP reach greater heights. We have made great strides with the 2022 bill.
Le bill ke lena itawusita ukuthi naku lesinako thine kukhone kusita live nenza shana nje lengafuna ukuqoqela wena abahlonishwa kune lomnyesisi ngalanhlangano uhlanganisa yodwa etimbita lapha tilonza diphele nya bayithethe lembita leyo yayimedunsa in South Africa yohlolwa khona ngasikwenda la khaya bayithatha nyalo bayithengise as a product yase South Africa into yethu live. So kumqoqa kakhulu mabahlonisha ukuthi ushakuteli lomthetho kusitaka live.
Now that this bill has passed in the House of Assembly, it will now move to Senate. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosi Mavimbela with Skumbuzo Dlamini and Mbongwa Dube, Parliament.
The Minister for Finance, Neil Reichenberg, has launched the electronic advanced ruling tool by the Eswatini Revenue Service. The minister says the tool will be found at the authority's website and will facilitate trade, making sure it's predictable and transparent in terms of tax for businesses buying equipment outside the country. The launch was held at the Hilton Garden Inn in Babane.
So this tool now is an electronic tool that before you even buy the hammer mill, you can now go onto the system and work out and agree and have an advanced ruling. Is to say when this product gets to the border, I'm going to pay X at the border. So before you even start the process, you can now launch. You can get an advanced ruling on the hammer mill you want to buy. So by the time you get to the border, produce the advanced ruling on that product. Pay whatever is due at the border, and the product comes through very quickly and seamlessly. So it's just to make the trade and the flow and the knowledge a whole lot easier.
The representative ambassador of the European Union applauded Eswatini for coming up with that tool.
The Eswatini Electronic Advanced Ruling 2 initiative that is launched to date, as already mentioned, was supported under the program the EU and World Customs Organization
British High Commissioner to Eswatini Simon Boyden says the tool shows how committed Eswatini Revenue Service is to the ease of doing business.
The ERS has also made significant strides in its organisational development, with multi-year support on leadership management and development, and more recently human resource competencies to support its evolution into a modern and effective customs organisation.
Business Eswatini's Chief Executive Officer Nathi Dlamini says the electronic advanced ruling tool is a necessity in the business sector. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Skhumbuzo Dlamini, Mbabane.
Minister of Health Liz Ngosi says the Kingdom of Eswatini is ready to introduce the HPV vaccination campaign. The minister has said this during her speech before the World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland. Ngosi says this vaccination campaign is aligned with the World Health Organization's goal of cervical cancer elimination by 2030. The minister has also added that Eswatini has taken great strides in the fight against HIV. She also says good working relations between government, World Health Organization, health workers and the Republic of China, Taiwan resulted in the kingdom succeeding in the fight against COVID-19. The minister then thanked the assembly asked the assembly to invite Taiwan to the World Health Assembly as an observer. She further asked it to include Taiwan in all WHO meetings, mechanisms and activities based on the global body's principle of leaving no one behind. Ngosi added that Taiwan can help and is willing to share its expertise to improve global health. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Poilisha Kantu, says prosecutors have to improve their knowledge so as to be able to deal with evolving crime. The minister has said this when opening the Prosecuting Conflict-Related Sexual Violence workshop at the Hilton Garden Hotel in Mbabane on Wednesday. The workshop is attended by prosecutors from all jurisdictions of the country.
When the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Poilisha Kantu, opened the workshop, she stated that vulnerable groups are the most affected by crime.
For this seminar will help to capacitate prosecutors to ensure that the country is not a haven for criminals because crime has no boundaries. I'm also informed that the modules will cover international crimes, war crimes and crimes against humanity, sexual violence crimes, current challenges in national and international prosecutions, addressing courtroom challenges in sexual violence cases, amongst other topics that will be covered today.
This workshop is funded by Conrad Adenauer Stiftung, which says prosecutors have a huge role to play as crime evolves daily.
In the face of increase in violent conflicts in many parts of the world, the prosecutors and the judiciary in general will increasingly have a greater role to play in curbing impunity of causing or participating in violent conflicts or conflict-related sexual violence.
The United Nations said it hopes this workshop will be an ideal platform for skills and experience sharing. The global body also presented a handbook to the Minister of Justice. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela with Skhumbuzo Dlamini, Mbabane.
The acting Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Jabulani Mabuza, has commended Standard Bank for hosting the Energy Indaba, which was aimed at finding solutions to sustainable energy for Eswatini. The minister was speaking at the Royal Villas when officially opening the event.
Government seeks to leverage on private sector participation as it helps alleviate the pressure on government, whilst at the same time enabling local companies, be it engineering, construction, operation, and maintenance, as well as financial services companies, to play a role in the country's energy sector. Further, the Eswatini Electricity Company is also in the process of developing a 33 megawatts Maguga expansion and Lower Maguga hydropower plant.
Standard Bank's Chief Executive Mvuselelo Fagudze explains why they held the Energy Indaba.
Is primarily focused on bringing various players from different industries that have an interest in energy, but that are also affected by the uncertainty of energy. And what we're trying to do as a bank is to give them various solutions that they can employ to approach us and put together financial structures for them that are more appropriate for the type of energy technology that they want to deploy into the markets.
According to Eswatini Electricity Company's annual report, Eswatini imports 54% of its electricity from Eskom South Africa, 10% from Mozambique, 6% from the Southern African pool. The Eswatini Electricity Company produces 24% of the country's electricity and 6% is from Ubombo sugar. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Themba Shabangu, Ezulwini.
The Minister for Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilakazi, says Swazi Rally is among the festivals that have contributed to the increasing number of international arrivals recorded this year. The minister says the rally has the ability to cultivate, nurture and improve lives through agriculture. Vilakazi was speaking during the official launch of the Swazi Rally 2023.
The Swazi Rally that stimulates tourism and position Eswatini as a destination of choice this year marks the 30th edition. Speaking during the official launch of the Swazi Rally, the Minister for Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilakazi, says the ministry wishes to see the event being marketed from all the African regions.
You will again be assisting artists as well as create more job opportunities, which is what we're about. Last year, I came in here and announced a resurgence in the tourism sector. I am pleased that this year we've seen more tourists coming in. In fact, the figures are saying that we have seen 139% increase in international arrivals, which have recorded close to 200,000. Now, that's very, very important, and we attribute this to your efforts and the sponsorship. Allow me now to officially announce the dates for the Swazi Rally 2023, which is from the 1st of September to the 3rd of September 2023.
Senzo Mkhabela, the president of the Hyenas, says the event is centered around charity. The Hotia's representative, Tegan Ward, says the Swazi Rally brings in unique clientele. This year's edition will see partnerships with different organizations, such as MVA, that will assist in road safety campaigns. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Vuminkosinzinisa, Sitvogodvom.
The Minister for Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilakazi, says wildlife crime is very diverse, from hunting elephants for ivory to smuggling endangered plant species. The minister says wildlife crimes often span many national borders, hence the need for international approach. The minister was speaking when officially launching the National Wildlife Laboratory, where he was represented by the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Kangezile Mabuza.
The Kingdom of Eswatini has launched the Wildlife Laboratory that has high technology, modern equipment that will support efforts to combat wildlife crimes by applying international standards best practices. Speaking during the launch, the Minister for Tourism, represented by the Principal Secretary in the Ministry, Kangezile Mabuza, says the expected outcome is tangible scientific and forensic evidence that will strengthen wildlife cases in Eswatini and beyond our borders.
Putting all our efforts in trying to have the necessary institutional framework in place and have the legislation in place. We need support in that regard, and we would really want to build capacity of Emaswati so that we have the issues taken on board within the local context.
Ian Miller, the ambassador charged the affair, reaffirmed the U.S. commitment in supporting Eswatini in conserving and preventing wildlife crime.
These ministries will make great use of the eWild Lab services as they continue their invaluable efforts to combat wildlife crime and bring perpetrators to justice.
The UNESWA's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Justice Twala, says the laboratory will offer a variety of molecular forensic services, including identification of species, identification of individuals, animals, and variety of genetic analysis.
Kutawusita ukunciphisa ubuqala lobuhambelana nekulahleka kwetilwane temvelo.
The Eswatini Wildlife Laboratory project was led by All Out Africa in collaboration with UNESWA and funded by USAID. For Eswatini TV News Ndomlangeni, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Matapa.
Students from different schools in Eswatini had a chance to be capacitated about different art through the Bushfire Schools Festival. According to the Bushfire Schools Festival member Stan Mabuza, this year's edition is inclusive as disabled students are part of the festival. Mabuza was speaking during the school's art workshop held at House on Fire.
Students from across the country brought their fire during the 12th edition of the Bushfire Schools Festival Workshop for Art. The theme for this year is Youth and Skills Development, Building Our Future. The Bushfire Festival member Stan Mabuza says they have seen the growth of students over the years.
We are engaging both teachers and students, different facilitators in the art sector. It could be your physical theater, it could be your dance and music or drumming session like we have today. It could be issues around sexual reproductive health through performance and mental engagement. So if you plan ya Bushfire Schools Festival ngokuthi si encompass a lot of sectors in the country.
The student representative Ayesha Mansouri says the workshop was indeed an eye-opener.
This event is a great opportunity for youth in embracing their diversity, what they're different in, what they excel in, even if it's not in academics. And I do think that school systems should embrace this aspect. As a person who's very passionate about public speaking, I would love for schools to understand that there's not only one path to success. There's many paths, and either path that you take with determination and with focus, you can achieve your goals.
The students were also capacitated on mental health issues and HIV, among other things. Eswatini TV News Ndomlangeni, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mahlanya.
The Parliament of the Kingdom of Eswatini has initiated a public participation process on the National Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill, number 16 of 2022. Accordingly, members of the public and interested stakeholders are notified that the Senate Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Home Affairs will be conducting public hearings on the bill. The bill seeks to harmonize and consolidate the laws relating to the mandatory registration of citizens and non-citizens legally resident in Eswatini, to provide for the issuance of national identity cards, to also provide for procedure for change of name and surname, to provide for the reorganization and modernization and naming of the civil registration system as the Civil Registration and Vital Statistics System, to provide for the registration of births, stillbirths, deaths, marriages, divorce decrees, nullification and deregistration of customary marriages, provide for the repeal of Birth, Marriages and Death Registration Act No. 5 of 1983, the Change of Names Act No. 67 of 1962, and the Identification Order No. 4 of 1998, and to also provide for incidental matters. Those interested in making submissions are advised to register their intention to appear before the committee with the committee clerk, Ms. Nonhlanhla Shabangu, on 76172820, 76172820, or email to noshabangu@yahoo.com on or before Monday, the 29th of May 2023, at 16:30 hours. The notice is made by Clerk to Parliament Benedict Kaba. Nhlangano high school pupils are worried about the lack of library services in the town. The Nhlangano National Library was one of the structures that were not spared during the nationwide unrest in 2021.
As renovations are underway at the Nhlangano National Library, we spoke to pupils from high schools around Nhlangano to gather how the damage of the Nhlangano Library has impacted their studies.
Isilimete kakhulu because labanye bethu esingisini abekho good but mabathole ama novels lapha library funds asingisabo siya increase siba right.
Ungilimete kakhulu because angisasithona isikhathi ukuthi ngidadisha nje kahle because kutholakala ukuthi emakhaya angikoni ukudadisha because kuba nemisebenzi eminingi kanti ukuthi kumele ngihambe yonke imandi ngiwashe wonke into kanjalo.
Library bengikhona kuyomela khona manje because ngiyelenyana ekhaya so bengimela khona ngende ama homeworks ngidadisha ngifunde ama novels.
The main mandate of the National Library Services is providing free access to library services and promoting universal access to a broad range of human knowledge and ideas in a welcoming and supportive environment. We understand that the library will be finished soon, since it plays a pivotal role in the education of not only high school pupils, but college students as well. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Thando Mdluli, Nhlangano.
Dear viewers, now take a look at our financial updates. Welcome back. You're still watching Eswatini TV. We begin our sports roundup with football, where the national team coach Dominic Gunene has announced the 26-man squad that will represent the country in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Togo next month, and in the 2023 COSAFA Games to be held in July this year in the Republic of South Africa.
We begin our sports roundup with football, where the national team head coach, Mr. Dominic Gunene, has announced the 26 men to represent the country in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers game against Togo, and later to take part of the COSAFA Games to be held in the Republic of South Africa in July this year. In the 26-man, head coach has not included striker Felix Badenhorst, who plays for Mbabane Swallows, and South African-based Justice Figueiredo.
Lokwendakalayo lesakucoca naye asekawashayela amagoli against ama-team lakhompyuthayo lebeka lapha ngedulo atosinika lithemba ke nasi lelikhulu lokuthi kusho ukuthi i-international kukhona la basendela khona sibuya Figueiredo mhlawumbe sekutawa ngathi siphe kuphinza indzaba Figueiredo uyafisa ukuthi usibambise but esikhatsini lesendlulile angikuvete lokho sike saba ne-challenge i-team yakhe beyimdzingile kakhulu.
Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Babane.
That is all we had for tonight, but before we wrap up, we'll take a quick recap of today's headlines. The Minister of Information, Communications and Technology, Her Royal Highness Princess Sikhanyiso, has thanked the Speaker and the members of the House of Assembly for ensuring that the Royal Science and Technology Park Bill of 2022 passes. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Pulile Shakantu, says prosecutors have to improve their knowledge so as to be able to deal with evolving crime. The Minister of Finance, Neil Reichenberg, has launched the electronic advanced ruling tool by the Eswatini Revenue Service. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather focus for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.
There's no price like